Okay, so for the first card, this is Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, and Scorpio Risings. We have the Hanged Man. So it definitely seems you guys are definitely going through perhaps maybe a bit of a transformation period for some of you. Now, this card is about us definitely beginning to, we're not beginning, we are surrendering to the higher, to the divine source, to God, whatever it may be for you, the universe. We are surrendering, we are letting go. Sometimes we can actually consider making sacrifices here that we've not ever made before, because the desire for the new direction and a change is just so strong that we're willing to make these sacrifices. Sometimes this can even be about doing a complete reversal of lifestyle for some. So you'll know where this fits for you. Now, this is definitely about finding our enlightenment. You know, there's always a situation that the Hanged Man is tied to, so to speak. So a situation in your life could have definitely brought this upon. But this, to me, is a good energy. Not every reader would agree, but personally, I'm all about surrendering and letting go. And I'm a Scorpio moon, and trust me, I know this is hard. This is hard for Scorpio because we don't want to let go. We want to control the situations, you know, and letting go is really hard for us. But wow, I mean, it took me a long time to actually do it. But once I did do it, wow. I mean, I literally seen miracles happen. So yeah, I mean, maybe give it a try. Okay, enough about me. This is not about me. This is about you guys. So, this can also be indicating that some of you could be developing psychic abilities. Some of you probably already have them, but you could be seeing them increase right now. This is also a Neptune card, and Neptune is now currently in retrograde, so it is moving backwards. And I'm actually enjoying this Neptune in retrograde, as it is definitely shattering a lot of illusions that, you know, some of us have been holding for a long time. So we are able to see the truth as it really is, you know, with no illusions. You know, so it's like the veil is just getting snatched away from our eyes, and we are seeing things exactly as they are. So it's kind of a very sobering experience, but it's a good one. It's also kind of a bit of a wake-up call, reality check, so to speak. But, you know, it's for the best, you know, because we don't want to be tied to any illusions. You know, we don't want to be in a relationship that's been an illusion, so to speak, you know. And for some people, you know, this is what they're going to see. I'm not saying you guys, but I'm just saying, you know, this is something that's going on with a lot of people. So okay. But in general, this is a card of, you're just ready to leave the past behind. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to move into the future, go in a new direction, get this new start. And you guys deserve it. I mean, you really do. Some of you really may be learning to tolerate other people and other people's ideas. as well. Now, this card is kind of like a present moment of stasis, so to speak, but we can't stay here very long. So we have to move forward. And this card is about, a tremendous change has taken place within us. We're not the same person that we used to be. And we know that heading in a new direction is what we must do, because we are not the same person that we were a year ago. So we have to move forward. Okay, so it is clarified by the King of Cups. I really feel like this card is coming out a lot for you guys. Okay, King of Cups. So, of course, anytime we see the Cups court cards, they're all emotional, and the King is emotional as well. But you would never guess it by looking at him. Kind of like Scorpio, like we're very, very emotional, but we can keep it under wraps. And the King of Cups, he is very emotional, but he restrains, he controls it, so you would never be able to guess it by looking at him. He looks cool, calm, collected, but there's a very emotional nature behind that. So a lot of times this card comes up for counselors. Some of you could be actually, natural born counselors. Some of you could be an actual, certified counselor. Some of you could be working towards it. Some of you actually could be seeking out some counseling. But in general, this king, he really knows how to work with people that have those really tough emotional situations, because he knows how to handle it, and he does so with great compassion. This king is very, very compassionate. This king is the type of king that he wants to better society. He's like a humanitarian. Yeah. So, this is really beautiful energy to be combined together to start the reading. So you guys are definitely cool, calm, collected. Some of you guys may be teaching others. Maybe you desire to teach others. Maybe some of you are counseling. Maybe some of you are seeking out counseling. But overall, this is about us, being in control of our emotions, and where we have that compassion and we could help other people. And most of all, he's definitely in balance because he is upright. So again, this is very, very positive to start. Okay, so this would be your circumstances. So we have the Ace of Cups. So this is a beautiful energy, yet it is another energy that could be indicating and pointing towards developing psychic abilities. For some of you, this could be something that is just now starting to happen in your life. For some of you, you could actually be seeing your already existent psychic abilities growing by leaps and bounds right now. For some of you, this could be indicating that there will be a birth, perhaps maybe in your family or a close association. A close association, maybe a really close friend. And, it could even be you, that'll resonate, with just a couple of you. But this can be indicating the birth of a child. Now, this can also be about developing a relationship. So for some of you, you could be interested in developing a new relationship. It could be started already. And Now, again, this relationship does not have to be one that is romantic. This could be a romantic relationship that's getting started, but it could also be a platonic type of friendship or even a business partnership. It can go both ways. So, because, not every Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising wants to be in a relationship. So, yeah, just wanted to throw that one out there real quick. So, it can go either way. But no matter what, this relationship would be with someone that you have a very special connection with, whether it's romantic or platonic. There would be like a very special connection. One could also use, the term kindred souls. So it's like you feel like you've known each other before. There's a very special, strong connection. So I love this card. I love this energy. Okay. So we clarify and we have the Four of Coins in reverse. So, ouch. So some of you could be going through some financial difficulties right now. Perhaps, because, when this card's in reverse, money is definitely falling away. Now, for some of you, this could be indicating that perhaps maybe some of you actually started a new project or started a new metaphysical or new age type of business. Whatever it may be. Could be art. Could be around music. It could be about just about anything. But perhaps maybe you had money and then you had to spend all that money. So, this could definitely be affecting you financially. Now, in general, this is about us, having money. It's falling away from us. So we definitely need to be careful. We need to try to budget. We need to try to pull those reins in. Be very careful that we don't overextend ourselves financially. Sometimes we will go after the beautiful things that we want, but it's under this type of energy with the Four of Coins in reverse. We don't want to be getting the things we want. We got to be going after the things that we need for right now, Now, another side of this is in regards to relationships. For those of you who may already be in a relationship, this relationship could be like a financial drain on you. It could be like either you or the other person are doing all of the work and providing all of the finances. And yeah, when we see the Four of Coins in reverse, and we know that, here comes the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. It's like, okay, yeah, I think I'm getting fed up. I don't think I know it. I'm fed up. So yeah, that's pretty tough energy to work with. And again, you could be on either side of that. You could be the one that's giving all the finances, or you could be the one that's receiving, the financial end. So there could be some difficulties that crop up that could then affect a relationship. Again, this relationship could be romantic or platonic. This could even be a business partnership. So it's like it could be blessed, but then all of a sudden we've got money going out. We really need to be careful. We need to make sure that things are equal, the best that we can. We don't want to just take, or give with never getting anything back. Yeah. Now, another aspect of this card is sometimes people can think that you're being greedy, selfish, kind of stingy in regards to your finances. And a lot of times this comes up when someone is wanting to get money from you and then you tell them no, so then this can cause a problem. And, you don't want to be called greedy or selfish or stingy, It's just when you've had to work your rear end off to maintain the savings that you got, you're not going to be so free to just, here, free money, here you go. I mean, come on. But, some people will just try to take advantage as much as they can. And the moment that you don't give them what they want, oh boy, yeah, all hell breaks loose. And you're every name under the sun. I don't like this energy exactly, but, yeah. So definitely watch out for relationships and partnerships that are not equal. Because, this really is a blessing type of card here. But seeing the Four of Coins, this tells me that things are not in balance. Something is out of balance. Okay, so this would be the focus. And here we have the Page of Coins. It's in the reverse position, so this is really making sense with the Four of Coins in reverse. So this is where we receive either some information regarding our financial matters, maybe even a job, or even perhaps schooling. And maybe the news that we get is not the news that we wanted to hear. So it could be considered disappointing, bad news, unfortunately. Or this could be indicating that you might be waiting on a financial or school type of decision, and there could be a delay in regards to receiving the message. For some of you, perhaps maybe this message might come through a younger individual. For some of you, this could actually be like a teenager. For some of you, the person will just be younger in general. Or we could just be dealing with the overall energy here of receiving some information in regards to a financial project or our finances in general, a job, or some schooling. So potential disappointing news or a delay of receiving the news. Now, if you're experiencing the delay, I just kind of want you to not jump and, assume that it's going to be the worst, but, let's just finish. Okay, so, yeah. All right, well. Yeah, so Three of Swords in reverse. This definitely indicating a heartbreak. It's not like a huge crushing heartbreak. It's like a disappointment. And for some of you, this could be about a relationship in the past. Especially if there was 3 people involved. But I'm feeling that for most of you, this is just simply indicating that, yeah, this is more than a delay. The news that's going to come through is going to be upsetting. It's not going to be anything that's like upsetting forever. You're not going to sit around for the next 6 months and be upset. Okay, so yeah, definitely don't look at it like that. It's just a setback. Yeah, a setback. We can't let these little delays and setbacks discourage us. Just kind of like last month when I was telling you guys, don't let these delays discourage you. They're kind of like little tests that are thrown at us by the universe. Like, how bad do you really want this? Well, let me throw this obstacle your way and this delay. And are you feeling frustrated yet? Are you going to give up? You can't give up, Sometimes we need to modify our plans. Sometimes we have to start over, but the thing is we cannot give up. We cannot give up. Okay, so this would be your recent past. So here we have the Queen of Wands. So I love this card. This is definitely a card of confidence. This is a queen that is very confident. She knows how to make results happen for her. She first and foremost, she has a very commanding, like dominating type of presence. I normally associate her with Leo, but you know, she could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you know, Wands, but or we could just be talking about the overall energy. But she has a very commanding presence. So she could literally walk into a room and it's like people just automatically seem to look. Even if they don't even want the attention, it's like it's just automatically drawn to them. Now, the great thing that I love so much about this queen is that she has the ability to manifest. You know, so she can literally create what she wants. So if she wants to go in a new direction, she can literally manifest that new direction. She can literally create it. And so this is very much a card that has to do with creating and manifesting. It's also a card of intuition as well. It's also a card of being confident in yourself, believing in yourself. And then we have the wheel upright. So yeah, this is like luck and luck combined together. This is fantastic. Anytime we see the wheel, though, I definitely always like to remind, you know, that these things are always faded when I see the Wheel of Fortune. But hey, you know, there was definitely a positive situation. You know, perhaps maybe for some of you, this was someone else that came into your life. And perhaps, you know, you were lucky by meeting this person. Maybe this person, you know, brought some luck to you in general. Or for some of you, this could actually be representing you. That you have been manifesting and creating, and you literally had the Wheel of Fortune on your side. And so that's luck being with us, you know. So that is good. That is our past, but you know. So this is either someone that was in your life or this is you. It can go either way. So, and a lot of times with these cards, it can always be about you or someone else. I mean, with this particular card right here, the very first, this is about you guys. So, but the rest of the cards, you know, these can be other individuals or this can be us, you know, and so for some of you, it'll resonate with you and what you're doing or in what your circumstances are, or this could be someone that's coming in and perhaps maybe creating these issues for you. So, you know, it can go either way. Just something to throw out there, that way everybody knows. Okay, so this is your present, the here, the now energy. So here we have Temperance in the reverse position. So this is definitely indicating that our intellect and our emotions are definitely out of balance. And our emotions are making our choices and decisions for us. So it's typically not good when our emotions, especially when we're very upset, for our emotions to basically be in the driver's seat. Yeah, not really the best thing. But it definitely looks like you guys are very, very emotional, especially from this situation here. So This card also has to deal with impatience and intolerance. So we might be a bit intolerant with others right now, maybe a bit impatient. Sometimes we are put into a situation in which we have to work with other people. For some of us, this could simply be, a job where we are kind of like having to deal with customers, maybe a customer service type position where, everybody has a damn problem. Excuse my French. But, you know, so obviously the customers will come and complain, and you have to be the one to make it right, fix it. But, your patience and your tolerance level is just being wore thin here. This is definitely one of those warning cards where we definitely need to pay attention to the complaints that we are hearing, whether they're at work, in our personal life, in our family life, in our home life, in our friendships, whatever it is. We need to hear other people out. Sometimes someone could have a really good idea, but under this type of energy, you may just be shutting it down, not even hearing them out. And yeah, we don't necessarily want to be doing that, because this person could actually bring something very valuable to the table, so to speak. This can also be a card of, potentially damaging our reputation, especially if we do experience these issues in regards to our work career life, especially if we own our own business. This can be some pretty shaky energy here. I mean, this is where we really got to hear our customers and our clients out. We definitely need to be paying attention to any complaints, do what we can to fix this, rather than just being impatient and intolerant. Now, I can completely understand, because a lot of times we're just ready to get things done. We're ready to get things moving. We're sick and tired of the dilly-dallying around. Let's just get this done, And so we can become impatient because we're just trying to get things moving. But under this energy, it's like we want to rush, 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 but we really need to take the time to slow down and smell the roses. I always use this when I see this card in the reverse, because, and it could be anything, but I just always use, the whole roses metaphor. So, you see some beautiful roses, instead of continuing to speed through your day like you normally are, take the time to stop, smell those roses, admire the beauty, admire the fragrance. This is where we can actually come across an opportunity. And we wouldn't have been able to come across this opportunity if we had not slowed down to admire those roses. So yeah, definitely try to slow down if you are going through this and you feel like, I just want to get through it, I want to get done, yeah, this is definitely for you then. Definitely try to slow down and, take a moment here and there, because you'll be surprised. This is where an opportunity could potentially find you. Okay, yeah, ouch. So, it is clarified by the King of Swords in the reverse position. So, this definitely indicates that the storm clouds are gathering. This is not the type of person that you want to piss off. Excuse my potty mouth again, but yeah. This king, and this can be male or female energy. This could be your guys' energy, altogether, or this could be energy that you're receiving from someone else. So maybe you feel like someone's being impatient or intolerant with you, or this could be your guys' energy. So it could go either way. But the King of Swords, yeah, this is not the person that you want to tick off, because his tongue is like a sword. It's literally a weapon. So, wow, the things he can say can be very, very cruel. He can be very severe in his judgment. Now, that King of Swords, he can be a judge, he could be a lawyer, a prosecutor. And when it's in the reverse position, it definitely indicates corruption. So that's not good. If you have a court case, yeah, it's definitely not looking the greatest. Because we do have some legal cards here. Now, other sides to the King of Swords is, it's like the storm clouds have become very, very dominant, you know. And it can feel like you're literally going through a battle. And, you know, this can literally make you feel mentally exhausted. You know, you just may not be able to handle the stress of the situation. You know, it can indicate that bad news comes in and you're just not handling it well at all. And so the more negative side tends to be shown, and yeah, it's not great. It's not the side you want to provoke, that's for certain. But he can be very, very cruel with his words. Very, very cruel. Sometimes there can be a lack of sensitivity. And a lot of times the king is just so preoccupied with his own issues, his own feelings, his own thoughts. And he can actually kind of begin to obsess on it. Kind of sounds very Scorpio-like. So, the biggest thing, though, is with the King of Swords in reverse, you're not seeing things clearly. So, if this is you, just know that you're not really seeing things clearly for what they really are. And you're not able to see both sides. And so this can definitely lead to making choices, decisions, judgments that are unfair, severe, and, you know, downright opinionated. But again, this is not the person you want to tick off. Not at all. Okay, so this would be the near future. So we have the Knight of Swords here. Now, with this energy, I always look at him as he's kind of like a heads up. He always has a message. He's always wanting to inform us and or warn us of something that's coming. Typically, I represent him as a Gemini, but, you know, it could be anybody under the air element that brings the message, or it could just be about the overall energy. Now, the Knight of Swords is always about, let's get to the truth of the matter. The Knight of Swords wants to get the truth out there. They want the truth. The Knight of Swords stands up for everything that is right and correct. You know, so if the Knight of Swords was to see someone getting bullied, The Knight of Swords would be the one that would actually stand up and say something to the person doing the bullying and say, hey, you're not right, stop, and literally put that bully in their place. So they will defend, especially social type causes as well. But ultimately, this is about getting to the truth of the matter. Sometimes this can actually be representing a person that could be coming into your life very quickly. Or it could just be an event that's coming up in your life very quickly. But either way, this is about getting to the truth. Now, he is a mover and a shaker. He has good intentions, although sometimes people could take him as not having good intentions, but this knight has good intentions, and again, male or female, so because it could be representing an actual person coming in. This person could be male or female, or this could be representing an event that's getting ready to occur. So, you just need to be ready. You need to be ready for this, because forewarned is forearmed. That's how I look at it. And this knight always is a signal that, something is coming. And it's coming very, very quickly. And we need to be ready for it. And so this card definitely alerts us. And it makes us ready for this situation that's going to come in. This could be a positive situation. This could be a negative situation. But just know that with the Knight of Swords, that ultimately, because I've probably said it 50 times now, it's about getting to the truth of the matter. So if you've been wanting truth about something in your life, it's coming. Okay, so it is clarified by the Ace of Cups. So, yeah. So, this could be, potentially a new relationship that's going to come in. Could be a romantic relationship. It could be, a platonic friendship. It could go either way. For some of you, this could definitely indicate fertility, the conception of a child. So if that's something you don't want, then yeah, you might want to try to take some extra precautions. The Ace of Cups also represents good health, so that's very, very positive as well. Now, this is always about opening our heart, perhaps to new emotions, but this could also be the beginning of something wonderful. Maybe there's something that you have wanted to do that you just really, truly love, and the Ace of Cups could be here representing it. It doesn't necessarily have to be an actual person or a relationship. It could be a material item, or it could be a project that you'd like to do. It could be just about anything, but you would definitely have love and passion for it. And this can also indicate a new spiritual understanding, or a new spiritual awareness in regards to love. It could be a spiritual breakthrough as well. And that would totally make sense with the Hanged Man. So for some of you, perhaps maybe you will see the truth soon. Maybe Maybe you haven't been able to see it. Maybe your judgment's been clouded. Not all of you, of course, but some of you. And for some of you, this could be indicating that a new relationship is coming in. This could be a romantic relationship. For some of you, this is a platonic one. Because again, not every Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising wants to be in a relationship. Okay, so this would be your attitude. So we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. I always refer to this card as like our emotional choice wish card. So with it being in the reverse position, we had an emotional choice to make. Now this card is very much about illusions. And I brought up Neptune earlier, and you know, like I said, the veils are getting snatched off our eyes here, and we're seeing things as they really are. Now, with the Seven of Cups in reverse, this indicates that you made a decision. It was an emotional choice decision, and you've made it already. Okay. So it's clarified by the Chariot. So whatever choice you made, you feel that you made the choice that was right and that was best for you. And now you are actively pursuing, accomplishing, and going after this choice, this decision, this goal, whatever it is that you want. I always look at the Chariot as victory through adversity, because, you know, we're always going to experience, you know, these little hiccups, but you can't let that stop you. You just want to keep charging forward like this Chariot. Now, another good thing about this Chariot is it does give us a bit of some divine protection from enemies and adversaries. So if you've got someone that's been trying to cause problems for you, and I know some of you do, this is a blessing right here, because it shows that you are being protected. And if you want to accomplish this goal, this choice, you can. Just keep going. And the Chariot also can indicate good health. So that's positive as well. Okay, so this is how other people see you. So we have the Four of Cups in reverse. So this is about us going through a period of, you know, discontent and dissatisfaction within our life. You know, this could be within our emotional life. This could be, you know, within our life in general. This could be about our family life, you know. But we went through a period where we were being very reflective and perhaps even an emotional period. But, you know, we were just kind of dissatisfied, discontent, even boredom, you know. But we have come out of that. And we are ready to get out in the world. We're ready to go out, do things, enjoy life. A lot of times with this card, an opportunity could present itself. Sometimes this can be a relationship. So a love interest could come into play here. Or for some of you, this could be a job. So if you've been looking for a job, you know, this could definitely be good news. But opportunities do come up here. Ouch. Okay, so it is clarified by the Queen of Coins in the reverse position. So with the Queen of Coins in reverse, yeah, she's very insecure. Okay. We could also consider her very financially codependent. So some of you could be a bit too financially dependent upon someone else in your life. And again, remember, this is how other people are looking at you. Okay. So this could be your significant other. This could be your family members, your friends, whatever it may be. But she's definitely overly dependent when she is in the reverse position. Sometimes she can just neglect her responsibilities. And this all stems out of insecurity and fear. She's also very, very mistrustful of others and very, very suspicious by nature. That kind of sounds like Scorpio too. But ultimately, the fear of failure makes her very, very vulnerable. And it can make her moody. And sometimes this can indicate that perhaps there could be some manipulation to acquire funds or some material items. Yes, we definitely need to be wary of this. Because we definitely don't want to be the ones that are doing this. Because this card is one of those cards where it's like, okay, yeah, it's a financial card. She's in the reverse, so she's going through a financially hard time. But this can indicate, especially if we manipulate others to get what we want, then we very well just might see even more of these hard times. So, yeah. Manipulation would not be the best way to go with that. Okay, so this would be the hopes and fears position. So, first card up is the Two of Cups in reverse. So, this is kind of like our soulmate card. This is also like a partnership, that is very balanced when it's in the upright position. When it's in the reverse position, there is no more, the balance is gone. So it's like we're kind of like at a crossroads. Like, should I put any more of my energy in, or should I just be done with this situation? And I'm feeling that for most of you guys, especially those of you who are just getting into a new relationship or about to get into a new relationship, perhaps subconsciously or even consciously, you could be holding on to that fear of maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe we're not going to be right for each other. Maybe we're not going to be able to cooperate with each other. Maybe the communication won't be open, But again, this is fear. It does not have to manifest, but it can. I just say let's not have any self-fulfilling prophecies. Unfortunately, with Scorpio energy, we have dealt with betrayal. And so this kind of instills in us, we need to be careful when it comes to trusting other people. But that can also be a bit of a blockage for us. So it's clarified by the Nine of Coins in reverse. So for some of you, perhaps maybe you fear losing money. Maybe some of you might be fearing that getting involved in another relationship could be a bad investment. Only you know what's right for you in your personal situation. And like I said again, those are definitely fears. And they could be conscious or subconscious type fears. But we definitely don't want them to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. And like I said, I totally get it, because trusting is very hard for me as well. But at some point, we've got to learn to trust, because it can become a block if we don't trust. And then we end up unfortunately just attracting more situations to us where we don't want to trust and we shouldn't trust. So sometimes we just got to take those chances regardless of what happens. At least we took the chance and we tried, you know. You can receive it or not, you know, like I said. We're all on our own journey, and you've got to do what is best for you at the end of the day. And only you know what that is. So this is our final outcome. We have the Five of Swords in the reverse position. Oh, this card has been coming out a lot between last month and this month. So when we have the Five of Swords reversed, the main thing here is there's definitely some sneaky behavior. Now, this could be on your part or this could be on someone else's part. Now, there is no deception involved anytime I see the Five of Swords reversed. This definitely lets me know that there's not any deception, but there's definitely some sneaking around taking place. Sometimes this can actually indicate that there could be some sort of legal issue or a lawsuit, and it could make you a bit emotional. That'll resonate with a few of you. Now, if you don't have any type of lawsuits and you don't have anybody this month or legal issues, you know, they don't necessarily have to be lawsuits, but they could be legal issues, then this could just be a certain situation that causes emotional problems. So it could very much be an emotional situation. Now, typically, this can be a card of rocking the boat, so to speak. So, you know, again, this could be you or this could be somebody else that could be rocking the boat, so to speak. Now, I always associate gossip with this card. So, if you happen to be the person who is being gossiped about, when you hear it, you definitely need to confront the situation immediately. Set the truth out there. Set it straight. You know, you don't have to bang on it and bang on it and bang on it, you know. Either people will believe or they don't. That is their issue. But definitely speak your truth in regards to this gossip. Now, for some of you, this could be you doing the gossiping. So, but I'm feeling that for the most of you, this is more of an issue of being on the receiving end of it. So if you hear something, just, you know, set it straight immediately. And like I said, you know, if they believe it, great. If they don't, that's their issue, you know. They'll have to learn the hard way. So sometimes this can also indicate perhaps that there could be, especially if you have a legal problem or a lawsuit, you know, this could indicate that perhaps things will turn in your favor or there could be a win. But, you know, it can be like a bit of an empty victory where it's like, okay, yay, I won or I got things my way, but, you know, it's not at all what I thought it would be like, you know. It's kind of like an empty victory, you know. It's like, yeah, I won, but, you know, woohoo. So, yeah. But overall, there is sneaky behavior or a desire to start conflict. So, again, this can be you or this could be someone else. Sneakiness, desire to start conflict. This is, I mean, look at these guys. Let's turn this card around momentarily. These guys are literally standing in the water. The water is representing our emotions. So they're in their emotions and they're duking it out. And we have this woman right back here, and she's just looking at the sunset like whatever. She's not even paying attention to the guys that are duking it out, So, it's pretty much straightforward to the point that, this is a desire to cause issues, conflicts, problems. And it is clarified by the Lover's card in the reverse position. So, now again, not every Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising wants to be in a relationship. So, this can be about romantic relationships or platonic relationships. So, anytime we have the Lover's card in the reverse, it's like the people are being separated. It's like there's a mountain in between them. There's definitely issues. There's obstacles, division. The relationship and maintaining it has become a lot more difficult. And sometimes this can indicate that perhaps maybe you might experience delays when it comes to attaining a desired result with something or someone that you love. So again, this could be you going after something that you want, but you might be experiencing some delays and some frustrations, and you may have to work harder at it if this is what you truly want. Now, anytime we see the Lover's card, whether it's upright or reverse, it has to do with decisions and our choices. So perhaps some of you are experiencing some indecision. You're just maybe having a problem making the choice. Or for some of you, maybe perhaps you're making a choice that will not fulfill you in the end. So, yeah, we really need to question ourselves on that one. So, we just have to make the right choices for where we are in our life currently. You have to be true to you, Scorpio. And I'm pretty sure that was about 2 readings back. But we have to be true to ourselves above all else. Nobody else can do that for you except for you. And you know what's best for you. So don't lie to yourself. Don't allow any illusions to sway you, okay? See things as they really are and make the right choices, okay? And for some of you, this could be some conflict, sneaky behavior, or just simply trying to start problems within a relationship for some of you. Like I said, you guys could be on the receiving end of this energy. Perhaps someone that you have a relationship with, a romantic relationship or a friendship or even a business partnership. Maybe you might feel like your significant other or your friend or your partner is trying to just cause every problem in the world for you. So it really comes down to, making a choice. Is this worth it? Do you want to continue? You got to do what's best for you. I mean, there's no other way. You have to do what is best for you. Okay, so bottom of the deck, we have the Justice card in reverse. So, yeah, this is not so great for those who might be involved in a lawsuit. So, yeah. Especially with the King of Swords in reverse. Yeah. And then the Justice card in reverse. This could definitely indicate corruption within the system. Or corruption within, maybe the judge, maybe a prosecutor, maybe your own lawyer may not be as good as as, you know, they portray themselves to be. So we really have to be careful here. It's the Justice card where we can find bias, discrimination, and even worse, racism. You know, these are the things that are not right, not ethical, not fair. It just shouldn't be, but unfortunately in this world it is. Ugh. God, maybe one day everybody will wake up. I can't wait for it. Oh, Lord. So, yeah. Now, if you aren't experiencing any legal issues, then this card is definitely saying you need to make the right choices, because the Justice card in reverse could be indicating that perhaps you might be making a decision or even passing judgment on to another person unfairly, very harshly. Perhaps you're making a decision that is not what's best for you. So we really need to take these things into consideration. We need to make the right choice for where we are right now. Okay, so it is clarified by the Hanging Man, which is the Hanged Man, but now it's in the reverse position. So this shows that the transformation, the process has happened. The new awareness has happened. Now, this shows hanging on to the past. It's like you've been through this huge change within, and you know you're not that same person, but yet there is this clinging to our old persona, our old ways of being. And a lot of times this is done out of fear. Maybe you fear that you won't be accepted. Maybe you fear that the people that you love are not going to accept who you are now. And so you just continue to put up that same act and act like you're the same person that you used to be, but really you're not. Because you've made that shift, but yet you're still clinging to the past. And more times than not, this is done out of fear. But don't fear, Scorpio. And at the end of the day, don't worry about what other people are going to think about you, because you have to be you. And if they don't like it, they can kick rocks. No joke. They don't like it, they can kick rocks. Get on out of here. You know, sometimes that can be a tough situation because some people will definitely disagree with things, but you know what? They can disagree, but that doesn't mean that you need to change who you are. That doesn't mean you need to hide who you are, okay? Be you, okay? Step into your personal power. Step into this new direction. Quit hanging on and clinging to the past, because you're pushing the beautiful changes and the new start that could come for you. You know, this is really a very beautiful card, but we're seeing a refusal to let go here. So it's like we start out with letting go and then we're going right back. And you know what? I totally get it. I know it's hard to let go, but sometimes we just need to do it. And I'm serious. You can see miracles happen. Perhaps maybe you're hanging on to this old image of yourself. Maybe you're thinking that, you know, nobody's going to accept you. But at the end of the day, that's not what this is about. You know, they're not living your journey. They're not walking your path. They haven't felt what you feel, you know. This is very personal. And only you know what's best for you. So, I mean, regardless of anything I say, you know, you've got to do what is best for you in your situation and right now. Now, the main thing you need to realize is that facing this change is something that is inevitable. At some point, you're going to have to drop that old image and trying to maintain that old image because it is inevitable. We must deal with it. Sometimes there can be a fear of making a sacrifice, or the fear of letting go and letting God, or letting go, letting the universe, whatever works for you. It can be a bit of spiritual resistance, and yeah, we don't want to do that. Because trust me, this card will lead us to somewhere way better if we allow it to. We really need to allow this change of consciousness to occur fully. And if we're trying to maintain our old image, then we can't. We're trying to stay in our old consciousness when really this card is about changing our consciousness. I mean, we can't really go back and undo things anyway. The change has already taken place. Now we just have to own it. And to hell with them if they don't like it. Yeah, some people might be biased about it. Some people might criticize you for it. Some people might even discriminate against you for it. But you know what? In the end, don't worry about them. Anybody that you lose from you being your true self was a blessing that they were put out of your life and that they left. Okay? Remember, rejection is spirit's protection. And that's no joke. Okay, so love oracle cards. These are for the single Scorpios. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Again, this is for the singles. So for those of you who are single, perhaps someone is stirring your feelings. And maybe you're considering, should I, shouldn't I? Oh, okay. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Now, this card definitely is about the patterns that we create. So, again, like if we constantly have problems with trusting people and we're always suspicious and mistrustful, if we're always thinking that things are going to end badly, like it's not going to work out, it never does, these become repeating patterns and they can become self-fulfilling prophecies. Now, the reason these happen is because our subconscious mind wants us to see consciously this has become a pattern. That way, the moment that we notice, okay, it has become a pattern in my life, then we can take the appropriate reaction to make sure that we change this pattern. Okay? And so this definitely comes down to we have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive the other people for their crap. At some point, we just have to forgive and let it go. Let go, let the universe, let go, let God, let go, let Pluto, whatever you want to look at it like, but we just need to let some of these things go because they're toxic, okay? And the more that we hang on to these toxic feelings, they can create depression and illness, so let's not do that. I know it's very hard for us to trust. Perhaps some of you have been really hurt in the past. And so this is kind of blocking you from even getting in a relationship because you're just scared that the same exact thing is going to happen. And so this right now is the moment to take notice. If there is a pattern that's been in your life, it's like maybe you keep attracting the similar type of people, and the patterns keep repeating. Lies, deception, betrayal, sometimes unfaithfulness. You know, if these things are repeating and becoming a pattern in your life, then this is where we need to really release. We need to purge these things and release them out of our system. We need to detoxify, Scorpios. We need to detoxify all these negative feelings and emotions, and forgiveness is really not so much for the other people. It's more for us so that we can clear our own energy and so we can move forward. So, yeah, you might have some people to forgive. But most of all, you've got to forgive yourself. Okay? And the final one is free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So this is very to the point. You need to free yourself. You need to take control over your life. For some of you, you might be feeling, restricted, smothered, perhaps maybe in a family situation. Maybe it's a financial career situation. Maybe some of you are holding yourself back with restrictive, fearful thoughts. Okay, yeah. Well, this video has definitely gone longer than I intended. But I can't help it. When I feel like I got to give a message, I got to give it, even though sometimes I repeat it. But, sometimes we need to hear it repeatedly. Okay, so this is for the Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs that are in relationships or married. So give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So this could be indicating that perhaps maybe there is a break within a relationship. For some of you, this could be indicating that there is real love there, but sometimes love is just not enough. Sometimes love is not enough to make it work. Sometimes love is not enough to rebuild trust. So, use your own better judgment. Sometimes this can be the end of our relationship, or sometimes this can be indicating that perhaps maybe we should, seek out some counseling. But this is really up to you guys, and if you really want to try to give your relationship a chance. But that card overall is saying, for those of you who are experiencing these problems, that the love is there, but, it's really a personal choice of whether you want to continue, if you guys want to get the counseling, if you want to, go that path, but it's really a personal choice. So, okay, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Yeah, so this would definitely be geared more towards the people who are not necessarily experiencing so many problems on the love spectrum. So the relationship you're in, this is basically saying, yes, at some point you will, move further up that ladder and your relationship will turn into a much larger commitment, if that's what you desire. Oh, okay. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Well, this is pretty straightforward. So for some of you, yeah, you do need to pay attention to the red flags. And if you see those red flags, then that might be, that might be the sign to just, let it go. Some things just need to be let go of. Okay, so now we're going to do positive affirmations. Now, let me tell you, when I was shuffling for you guys, literally half the deck wanted to come out. But, I started over, which normally I would take them, but that was just way too many. It was like almost half the deck, so. But you guys still got a lot. 6 in total. So, yeah. Okay, so the first one is moon. The moon. Ooh, okay, moon. Illusion. I may not see the workings of spirit in the invisible realms, but I know there is a great activity behind the scenes. It is important to trust the mystery and remember that the material realm is an illusion. Current conditions are not necessarily a reflection of the truth of what's really going on in the present. Great opportunities lie in the shadows, awaiting the perfect time for illumination. Magician. These are both major arcanas. So this is also about alchemy. When I am in alignment with Spirit's will, miracles are possible. When I see this card, I'm reminded that my will and skill alone will yield limited results. When I remember my partnership with Spirit, all is well. I'm required to explore my commitment to this co-creative alchemical relationship and see the results manifest beautifully through me. Spirit works magic. So that's beautiful. And another major arcana. So we have Fortune's Wheel. Fortune's Wheel. Destiny meets synchronicity. I am in awe to experience many meaningful coincidences that prove to me that Spirit has my back. These lucky breaks and moments when things just turn out perfectly show how we're all connected. My gamble will pay off when I trust my co-creative partnership with Spirit. My destiny is obvious to me now. Ace of Air. Destiny, fate, the law of karma, powerful forces of transformation at work, synchronicity. Meaningful coincidences and forces beyond my human control are operating in my life right now for the highest good. Things are happening now with great velocity. I can expect quick results that will lead me forward with excellent information. Seven of Air. Independence, nonconformity, living life on one's own terms without people pleasing. Now is the time for me to live life on my own terms, so I must find the courage to reject conformity. Listening to my yearning for independence is the key to breaking free of groupthink and attending to my own needs. Diplomacy, with others can help me to be true to my call, to do what I know I must do for myself. And Five of Water. Releasing grief, allowing sadness to rise and fall. Forgiveness, the ebb and flow of emotions. I feel the fullness of my emotions as they wash through me, The ebb and flow are part of life, and I am present in my feelings today. I fully forgive myself and others and let go of any emotions that were holding me back from acknowledging the truth. I deserve the freedom that comes when I release what is no longer working for me. I make amends to those I may have harmed when emotion was clouding my perceptions. I surrender any resentments to the divine, knowing they can be transformed into miracles. Fearless inventories lead to liberation. So see, there is some beauty in that, and we're definitely going through that theme of getting rid of all the hurts, those toxic emotions that we've been hanging on to. Okay, I hope this helps, Scorpios. Keep your head up. It's going to get better. It's pretty rough right now. 6 planets in retrograde, so a lot of us are feeling pretty off right now. Yeah, so just know this too shall pass, but it's definitely time to emotionally detoxify. So keep your head up. Things are going to get better, Scorpio.